So my debate topic was whether or not the World Health Organization was or was not an effective tool to combat the global spread of COVID-19, and I chose to say that it was. And there's a couple of reasons for this, so I guess I'll get into it. So the main thing for me is that it has such a powerful outreach with obviously it being on a global scale. Many not as fortunate financially countries uh, do not have the resources to be able to provide information, services, and supplies to its residents. And so I think that this is more of just having the right thing to do when other wealthier nations are able to contribute to an international fund that does help slow or stop the spread of coronavirus everywhere. Nations, probably in Central America, South America, that if it gets bad there, that if it wasn't for things like the WHO, they do not have the kind of resources that a country should have to stop the spread. And since this is a very global disease, yeah, the thing can spread very fast, is that people are coming into the United States from South America or Central America or other impoverished nations. Then that's worse for us in the end. All right. The next thing was it would allow other countries to learn and in ways compete from one another. We all know that when I say compete, is that China or other big countries are going to try to compete to show how well that they handled the coronavirus compared to the United States, and back and forth. And so which this is a good thing in a sense, because you want countries to be better. Like, this is basically the principle that capitalism was built on, that our standard of living will be increased with more competition. And so with countries trying to do better, then in the end that's a good thing. So the WHO is a great place to show, where it can have numbers to look at. Oh, what techniques is China doing? What techniques is New Zealand doing? And so when you have like a global database like that, then that's an important thing. And U.S. can share with its allies, or they can ask, like, hey, like, how did you manage this? How we can look back on it and say, like, oh, how would you manage this better than we did? How did France? How did England? How did Spain? How did you guys manage this? Maybe how did you guys manage this better than they did? And lastly, is it would help administer a vaccine worldwide, because if we did not have something like the WHO, then it would become sort of like a competition based things. If a country like China were to have it, and the US would have to keep if a private company in China had it, then US would have to bargain for it. We'd have to trade, and which that could take a very long time. And so with countries giving in to something like the World Health Organization, then it can then administer it all throughout the globe. And as we know, it's a very global disease has reached every corner of the earth. So with a very large international body like the WHO, that would be very important in administering it throughout all the countries that we know and we enjoy. So, ciao.